They gave me the topic of selfless love, which I found rather confusing because what does selfless love mean? Does it mean that self must be got rid of? Jump off a cliff or something like that? That if I jump off a cliff, then there's no left to love. So selfless love by itself doesn't seem to make much sense in terms of grammar, at least, or English. So I was wondering what exactly could this mean? So let's take a look at some of the ideas which are there in this word love. For instance, if you look in the Indian languages, like if you look in Hindi, you got a lot of words which can be translated as love. Pyar, Prem, Preet, Mohabbat, Ulfat, and Pasand, and I don't know what not. So there are multiple words used to express the idea. If you look at Greek, we have got eros, phileo, agape, storge. So you got multiple words to show the different kinds of love which is there and the different uh, nuances of love, you can say, which exists. But when you come to the English language, we are stuck with one word, love. And that one word is being used in a variety of contexts so that we are not very certain what exactly are we meaning when we use that word love. It's much too broad a word to be very clear about its specific meaning. Now, for instance, when you say, I loved a movie, or if I say, I love what you do, or if I say, I love you, or if I say, I love ice cream, they're all different. They're all different meanings totally from each other. Yet we are using the same word love. And that creates a lot of confusion. And so we need to try and understand what this word love could mean. So there's one other word which has fallen into disuse, which I wish to resurrect for today. You know, it's a word which is used in Old English. It is there in present English, but not used much. You don't bump into it much. And it's the word lust. Now, what exactly is lust? If I look in a dictionary, lust usually means sexual desire, but also has the meaning of craving as a secondary meaning. If you look in the Webster's dictionary, it means sexual love and it also means a craving, where you have a craving for something. So I want to use it in the secondary sense. It is more than desire. It is not just desire. It is like an addiction. I think those who have had addictions, like probably tobacco addiction or some other addictions, you will be familiar with what it means when you don't have tobacco at that moment, the kind of craving which comes. Yeah, that is the kind which we basically mean by lust. It is something which drives you to get what you are desiring. Whereas love is a totally different word. So let's understand lust. For instance, when you say, I love ice cream, are you actually saying you love ice cream or are you saying a lust after ice cream? Because when you love something, you want to build that up. You want to encourage that. You want to see that grows. But when you lust after something, you want to consume it and you want to keep it for yourself and you have no commitment to the item as such. Your only commitment is to consume that item. And so the correct word which we should probably use with the definitions I'm giving is that I lust after ice cream and not love ice cream. But if you loved ice cream, you would try to promote ice cream as a food. You try to promote different kinds of ice cream. You'll try to build up ice cream. But when you lust after ice cream, you're just trying to consume it and see how quickly you can finish it. So what happens? Lust is self-focused, whereas love is other-focused. So when you truly love ice cream, you're focusing on ice cream. When you're having lust, you're focusing on self and seeing how you can get more of ice cream. So self-love, which we saw last week we had the person speaking on self-love and saying that self-love is essentially having a good self-esteem and valuing yourself. So one way of understanding love is to value something, and because of its value, you care for it and you look after it, and you see that you can develop that. So the uh, so love is kind of valuing others. When I love people, I'm valuing people, and I'm focusing to see how they can be blessed and how they can be benefited. That is basically the understanding of love as we know it. And as coming from self love, also, when you have self love, you are building a good self esteem for yourself and valuing yourself. So, in the same way, when I have love for others, I'm valuing others and focusing on their good. But when you have lust, it is totally different. I mean, you see in the papers uh, crazy people who say that no, I love that girl and that girl is not marrying me, and so they throw acid on that girl. That's just lust. That's got nothing to do with love, because if you love, you would never harm the person. But people are not able to distinguish between lust and love, and so landing themselves in all kinds of confusions. They are murdering people they claim to love. They say, no, I love that person, so nobody else can have that person, so I'm going to kill that person. So we find mankind, and especially in India, I'm finding that there is a lot of confusion between lust and love, and that creates a total mayhem in society. And so when we are talking about selfless love, to some of the ideas of that comes from this kind of misunderstanding of lust. When we talk about love, basically love, we see it as sacrificial. We see it like the mother's love, where the mother makes a lot of sacrifices for the children. We see it as the person who has love is not returned, but who courageously and in a Calvinist chivalric manner, he lets the other person fulfill her or his desire and keeping the hurt within themselves. Now, these are the examples of true love, and which is actually what we are calling selfless love, where we make sacrifices for the person we love and we don't harm the person whom we love. So, that is the basic difference between love and lust, which I wanted to really bring out very clearly. So, to be able to have that kind of love, we need to have a good self-esteem, where I know where I am, so that my self-esteem is not destroyed because my love is not reciprocated, and so that I'm not looking at relationships in terms of lust, but I'm looking at relationships in terms of love. So I need to know who I am, where I came from, and I need to have good self-esteem. One of the interesting things when you look at these two words, when you are very good looking or very handsome, a very pretty girl or a very handsome man, is at a tremendous disadvantage. They're a tremendous disadvantage because the people surrounding them are mainly surrounding them because of lust and not love. And so for them to distinguish or identify who really loves them is not easy. Whereas a person who's a plain Jane or a hardworking man who doesn't really have the looks, for them, the people around them are those who really care for them and love them. Nobody has a lust for them. And so it's much easier for them to build relationships which are true and which are genuine and not get caught up in misunderstanding lust for love. So this is something which we really need to understand. And one of the questions which I have, I ask people, parents who do not let go of children, are they loving the children or are they having lust for the children? Now, here the lust is not sexual love, but the lust in terms of wanting to have the child next to her or him, but not wanting the child to develop wings and fly away, like what the eagle does to the eaglets, that let them fly and go get out of the nest, but rather wants to have them around. That's not really love, because genuine love means you let people grow and go for their own good. And that is where the whole idea of selfless love comes. It's not what I want, it's not what is my interest, but what is the interest of the other person, and how the other person can grow. So what does denying self mean? Jesus made the statement, if anyone desires to come after him, let him deny himself, take up his cross and follow me. So what is this meaning of deny myself? Does it mean to say that I don't count, I don't exist, I'm irrelevant? No, that's not really what denying myself means. Denying myself essentially means getting rid of lust. That means I don't let lust control my decisions. I don't let lust control me. What controls me will be love. What controls me will be vision. What controls me will be purpose, but definitely not lust. So lust is something which I get rid of, and that is what denying self basically means. So when we are looking at selfless love, we are saying love where lust has been got rid of, and love is what dominates. So that is basically what selfless love really means. So it does not mean negating self or considering oneself as a zero or ignoring self. It is not denying the reality of your personality, the reality of God's purpose for you, the reality that you are someone whom God has chosen, but it means that lust does not control you. It is love which controls you. That is what denying self basically means. So it is denying self in the area of lust. So you're allowed to have fun. Don't think that because you are denying yourself, you can't have fun. But you'll tell me, how can I have fun? Fun comes from indulging lust. And if fun comes from indulging lust, how can I have fun when you say deny yourself? So I'm saying no. You can have fun without indulging lust. You can have fun from indulging love. You can have fun by building strong relationships. So we are replacing lust with love. And our, can you quieten the silly birds? The So the fun comes from practicing love with people and replacing lust with love so that we can have strong relationships and relationships that build rather than having lustful relationships that only destroy people. So that is the meaning of denying self. And so that is what selfless basically means. Selfless means not letting lust control me, but letting love control me and working for the benefit of others. So lust is self-centered and destroys people who interfere with your lust, whereas love is other-centered and sees how to help others and how to build others up. So this is basically how I understand what selfless love means. Now let's look at another concept that Jesus said. Jesus said, I say unto you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you. Now, this love is obviously not emotional love, because when somebody is beating me up or treating me badly, I'm not going to get a very warm feeling in my chest and feel very nice towards him. But what Jesus says, don't worry about how you feel towards him. You make a commitment to do good to that person. So love here is not an emotion, but it is a commitment to do good to that person. So when I live my life with this commitment that I'm going to do good to people, even if they are doing negative things towards me, then you'll find that over a period of time, the relationship between you and that person starts changing. Was harming you, he starts softening. I can't choose my colleagues. The colleagues are chosen by my bosses and others. And I am committed to do good for them so that the team prospers. If I'm not going to do good for them, then the whole team is going to suffer and I'm going to lose my job. Irrespective of whether I like them or not, is something which is essential for the workplace. And those who can do that, they're the ones who do well in life. And those who can't do that, they're the ones who struggle in life and they normally don't do well in their career. So this is something which is good for us both in the workplace. It is good for us in our daily life to practice this kind of selfless love. And it is good for us in building strong relationships with people. So this is selfless love. As you ignore your natural feelings and help people in whatever way you can to achieve their own goals and their own purposes. So how do I augment commitment? Now, once we have made a commitment, if we can have a relationship of trust, I might not like you, but I can trust you. And you may not like me, but you can trust me because of the reputations we have. So once we develop this kind of relationships of trust, we feel happy and secure, and so do others. And our commitment, which we have made to do good, will keep increasing. And essentially, as I said, selfless love is a commitment to do good. But as our relationship becomes stronger and stronger, you will find that that love increases and becomes stronger and stronger. We say, I love you because you trust me and I trust you, and not because of any lust which we have. When we lust, we say, you're so beautiful and handsome that I want you. But that is dangerous. It is when I love the relationship that you're having, the way in which I'm able to trust you, and the way you're able to trust me, that is genuine love and not lust. So I love you because of the peace and comfort you bring. I lust because of the desire you arouse within me. So that is the contrast between love and lust. So when we are talking about selfless love, we are basically saying that it is not lust, but it is genuine love. Do not confuse yourself. Lust is not love, it is pure greed. But I know people who can't go to sleep because of the lust which they have for someone. I said, just forget about it. That's not right from any perspective which you see. It is totally improper to have that kind of a lust. It needs to be love which controls your life. The augmentation to the commitment comes from the quality of relationships, not the amount of lust. And so that you can uh, develop this quality of relationships by trusting people and making them trust you so that you have the quality of relationship which you need. So ultimately, love becomes selfless because it is not about what you want, but what others want and what others need. And that is basically the meaning of selfless love. But it is not self negation because you get your fulfillment in the joy of others. So, because you have got rid of lust from yourself, you find that your whole life changes and you are getting the fulfillment in your life by enabling yourself to be a blessing to others, to help others, to develop others to their full potential, and to see them becoming the kind of person they are meant to be. And that is where you get your fulfillment and your joy rather than in satisfying the lust which you have. So, this is the example given to us even by God. See, you are a unique creation of God created for a purpose. And that is where you get your self esteem from, knowing that God created you individually for a purpose. And that purpose is why you're living. In Christmas, we celebrate God's coming into our midst to build a relationship with us. Remember what I was saying, that you augment your commitment by building strong relationships. And so God came into our midst to build that kind of a strong relationship with us. He has not come to punish us. He has come to love us and to help us. And that is really what we celebrate at Christmas. God coming to love us, God coming to help us. So Jesus opened the door to re-establish a relationship of trust and love. And that will enable you to practice selfless love in your life and to be able to get rid of lust from your life. Jesus said, if you don't want me, it's fine. I don't force myself on people. You don't have to accept me. But for those who accept me, I'm giving them a commission because he trusts us. He says, I trust you and I'm commissioning you to do a work for me. And that is where we get our self esteem from. We are in a relationship with God. God is trusting me. God is giving me a responsibility. And so I know that that is the purpose in my life. And that's where I get the self esteem from which I can love others. I can have self love and I can have selfless love. There is a purpose for our life, and your life is therefore meaningful. Because of this, I can commit myself to others and practice selfless love. So, this is my challenge for you. Recognize that you're valuable because God has made you for a purpose. Let us renounce lust as a controlling factor of my life. See, this is one of the reasons why I said you get rid of all habits, not only alcohol and tobacco and things like that. But if you find you're getting addicted to tea, give it up. You find anything you're getting addicted to, just give it up. So let us renounce lust as the controlling factor of my life. Have the discipline of doing the things you do not like to do. The only difference between successful people and unsuccessful is unsuccessful people are controlled by their lust, so they cannot do the things they don't like to do. Successful people are not controlled by lust, so they are able to do the things they don't like to do, and so they tend to be successful because they are able to do all things. Be committed to be the solution to the problem of people and not the problem of people. So you should never be the problem. Moment you find you are becoming the problem, you take yourself away. But you are the solution to the problem which people may be having. So have fun in a constructive manner and go and enjoy yourself because God has got a purpose for you. Enjoy life, be a blessing to people, and make sure that your love is what dominates and not your lust. May God be with you and thank you.